Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's your boy E2 Blue coming back at you again. How's everybody doing? So, I was just sitting here thinking, like, there's three big wide receivers that's still out there in the market right now, which is, to me, I'm flabbergasted by it. We already know one, Dez Bryant is still out there. Eric Decker and your boy Jeremy Maclin. Now, these are all guys that, Dez is the youngest of them, but I would say that both of these guys, all these guys been around the bush. They know the game. I'm actually shocked the team hasn't picked them. I'm shocked, but I'm not. A lot of teams right now are not picking up these players because a simple fact that the draft already happened. So a lot of teams are looking for their young guys, seeing what their young guys can do right now, which I'm cool with because of the simple fact that that's what you're supposed to do. You don't want to stop progress on young players. You never want to do that. So with that, I say that right now, I don't think that none of these guys are going to get signed unless somebody gets injured in training camp. But again, what did I say before? Injuries are inevitable. They happen to every team. Every player gets some type of injury in their career, whether it's something as minute as a hamstring or something as big as almost a season-ending, career-changing type of injury like an Achilles or ACL tear with nerve damage like Jalen Smith had. But he was able to come back from it. Not all players can come back from injuries that devastating. But as I digress, Brandon Marshall, if you guys already know, he signed a contract with the Seattle Seahawks. Now, it's not a big contract. It's literally $2 million. That is all contingent upon they put incentives in there. So if he plays the whole season, if he gets a certain amount of touchdowns, so whatever the incentives that they have in there, he could potentially, if he plays well, he can get that whole $2 million. Now, Brandon Marshall had a bad year with the Giants. He only played 5 games, I think, and he was injured for the rest of it. He didn't play no touchdowns, and he only had 18 receptions for the year. Now, the Giants, all the way last year, they just had a bad run with their wide receivers. Odell, Sterling Shepard, everybody got hurt. So Evan Ingram was their saving grace. That's the only thing they had. But I'm not going to hold that year too much on him because of the simple fact that he did get injured. He didn't play. So, sometimes things like that happen. You get injuries, like I said, they're inevitable. You can't control them. Now, what's funny about this contract is that it's not that much money. It's only 1 year. Compare this to Dez Bryant. Dez Bryant is still on the market. Now, Dez Bryant did get a contract offer from the Ravens, but it was multi-year, and he didn't want a multi-year contract. He didn't want 3 years. He didn't want to feel like he was going to have to be tied to that team for that amount of time. I can understand that, but if it were me, I probably would have went ahead and signed that contract because you don't know if you're ever going to get another contract. People are speculating that he could retire, which is crazy because he's like, what, 28, 29? And, I think that, me personally, I think that, outside of the Cowboys or anything other than that, I think that Dez still has it in him. I think that if he had a veteran quarterback throwing him the ball, somebody like an Aaron Rodgers or a Matty Ice or even a Drew Brees, somebody like him throwing him the ball, they know the type of player Dez Bryant is. They study it. And I look at it like this. A lot of teams are probably looking at the struggles that he had this past season, and they're probably like, okay, well, I don't think that Dez Bryant, it makes sense for us to sign Dez Bryant. We got these draft picks in here. We got these wide receivers, so we're trying to see what we can do with our players now. Now, again, like I said, Dez Bryant could get picked up by a team as much as Eric Decker can, as much as Jeremy Maclin can. I believe that they could probably get picked up by these different teams if they if a team has an injury, then they'll maybe look into that. But like I said, teams are just trying to work with what they got right now, and they're trying to go forward with that because, again, the longer it takes for these guys to get signed closer to the season, they still got to get in there. They got to practice with the team. They got to learn the playbook. It's a lot going on. They have to learn their quarterback. It's different things that they have to figure out. But they're veterans. They can figure that out. They should, that is. We know Dez wasn't a great route runner, but, we know his strengths: the jump ball, the back shoulder fade, and short slants, sluggo routes. I look at it like this. Him denying that contract, whatever. The Ravens got a decent wide receiver core, and I think that he would have added to that, but maybe he just didn't want to go to Baltimore. Dez Bryant had put on Instagram when a fan asked him, what team would you like to be on? He wrote back 49ers, and then he quickly deleted it. But you know how social media is. You screenshot stuff, and these reporters are on it. They caught that thing quick. I mean, he said he wanted to go to the 49ers, but I don't think the 49ers even looking at him. I don't know if many teams right now are looking at Dez Bryant or any of the other wide receivers out there right now, because they're focused on what they have right now. And that's the main reason why these players are still out there. You know what I mean? So did Brandon Marshall set the bar for the wide receiver pay, the veteran wide receiver pay? Maybe not, because each player is different, each team is different depending on their need. And I think that $2 million is because, look, you had a bad year with the Giants. We know you're coming off of a injury-prone season. It's a prove it, and that's what Dez wanted. Dez ultimately wanted a prove it deal, 1-year contract, so these teams can see what he can do, and then maybe he could get more money later. That's where Dez Bryant's head is. But then I look at your agent. How good is your agent, dude? Because your agent is supposed to be, I mean, is he signed to Rock Nation? I ain't heard nothing from Rock Nation or nothing about his contract, even when he was with the Cowboys and before he got released, and all that stuff that was going on with him and Jerry Jones and Steven on whether they were going to keep him or cut him or whatever the case was. I just feel like somebody got to step in and help this boy out. You know what I'm saying? Because Dez is a player. He shouldn't have to be dealing with a lot of his own contract stuff. This is the reason why you have an agent. This is the reason why you pay him 3%, 5%, 8%, 10%, whatever deal that you have with your agent. This is why they make the big bucks, because their job is to make sure that you get the right contract for you get on the right team, so on and so forth. You could get re-signed by your current team, whatever. But I feel like they just let him down, and the fact that they let him down is just beyond me. But with that being said, Brandon Marshall is still a player. I mean, he's the only wide receiver in the league that had 21 receptions. Yeah, what's going on? That's my boss right there. So he's the only wide receiver that had 21 receptions in the game. That's crazy. I mean, I would have loved to have him on my fantasy draft that year, but whatever. But as far as he goes, I wish him luck out there with Seattle. Hopefully he has a good season with them. Prove it deal. Again, Dez, that's what Dez is looking for. He wants a team to pick him up for one season, but there's nobody really out there looking right now. So we're not going to see these guys get signed, none of the three of them, until after training camp, or see if anybody gets gets released, or somebody that's not good enough, and then they'll be like, okay, well, let's get a veteran up in here. Because I know with the Cowboys, as many receivers that we have on this roster right now, ain't nobody else getting signed as far as receiver goes. So with that being said, y'all, thanks again to all my subscribers. I just appreciate y'all. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button. Support your boy. With that, this is your boy E2 Blue, always keeping it real. I'm out.